Alright, so the trade deadline has concluded. I know I keep making some of these videos about it, but I want to do my post-NBA team ranking after that, so now we know which players are going to be on which teams for the remainder of the year. Now, there is some buyout stuff that could be involved. I don't know what team like Danny Green's going to, or Patrick Beverly. It looks like Terrence Ross is joining the Phoenix Suns, so that's not really going to change these rankings too much. We do have 6 different tiers. We have finals contender, we have conference finals contender, so I'm like, they could possibly make the Eastern or Western Conference Finals. We have top 6 seeds, play-in bound. I think they'll finish 7 to 10. Borderline play-in, yeah, so like you could maybe sneak into that 10th seed if you're outsider right now. Better luck next year. Yeah, you're not making the playoffs. So remember, again, this is just my opinion. Drop a thumbs up if you guys do enjoy these style videos. Let me know in the comments, though. If you disagree, please let me know down below. I want to hear why you disagree. There's really no specific order we're going to be going this in. It's really till I hopped in the tier list. Shout out to Devin. He linked me the tier list. I'll give a link to this in the description below. So we'll start off with the Memphis Grizzlies. Oof, a spicy one. The Grizzlies are the 2 seed in the West at 34-21. I still think they're a finals contender. Now, do I think they're one of the top 3 teams in the NBA? Not really. It's just because I think that the West is so wide open, they can win the West. Did they get better at the deadline? Yeah, you traded away Danny Green and you added Luke Kennard, somebody you're actually going to play. But I don't think they got too much better. They're definitely one of the weaker finals contenders. And I could even change that. Atlanta Hawks. So the Atlanta Hawks are currently sitting in the Eastern Conference with a 29-28 record. I thought they could finish as a top 6 seed. Now, I think Brooklyn is, I don't want to spoil that. I was going to say they're still probably good enough to finish in the top 6. I don't think Atlanta is going to finish in the top 6, so I think they're going to be on the first half of the play-in tournament. I think they're going to finish around the 7th or the 8th seed, pretty much where they are. Boston, this is an easy one. They are probably the finals favorites at the moment. They're definitely the best regular season team. They were in the finals last year. They added Mike Muscala at the deadline. A small low-key move, but it definitely will help. If Tatum and Brown can stay healthy, they got great complementary pieces around them. Malcolm Brogdon, Marcus Smart, Al Horford. We'll see how Grant Williams continues to play and if Robert Williams can stay healthy. But either way, this is a really good Celtics squad. They're a finals contender. Brooklyn, oof. Do I think that they're going to fall into the play-in tournament, or do I think that they're going to be a top 6 seed? You know what? I think they're going to be competitive throughout the remainder of the season. I think they could finish as a 6 seed. They're still 11 or 10 games above 500. They've had a couple games now without KD and Kyrie, and they've all been close, losing to the Clippers. They lost to the Suns, and they just lost last night to Philly, as I'm recording this, in a crazy game. Dinwiddie almost hit a tying 3, but his hand was still on the ball as the game clock expired. I think they're going to finish as the top 6 seed, though. Like, you got Dinwiddie, you have Cam Thomas, who's playing really well, Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, Royce O'Neal, Joe Harris, Seth Curry, Nick Claxton, Dorian Finney-Smith. They have a ton of talent there in Brooklyn. Top 6 seed. Charlotte, first one. Better luck next year. Yeah, 15-43. Worst team in the Eastern Conference. Jeez, I don't know how. I guess nobody really wanted to give up anything for Rozier or Hayward at the deadline. Chicago, I think they're a borderline play-in team. Right now, they currently sit as the 10th seed. Do I think they get in? It's really, I got to pick between Chicago or Toronto. Who's going to get it? And I think right now I might be taking Toronto. So I guess we can spoil the Raptors here. I think they're going to get like that final play-in spot or the 9th. They got better at the deadline. They added Jakob Poeltl. Chicago does have a talented team, and they might add Russell Westbrook in the buyout market. Like, they still have Levine, DeRozan, Vucevic, Caruso. I don't know. Maybe I'll go back and forth throughout the whole video. Cleveland, I think they're a top 6 seed. I don't think that they're a conference final contender. I think there's 3 clear-cut teams better than them in the East. They have a good record. I don't know. They just didn't add that small forward spot at the deadline. They didn't do anything with Kevin Love. Milwaukee, they're a finals contender. It's them and Boston, I think, are the top 2 favorites to win it all. And they're in the same conference, so only one of them is going to advance to the finals. But I think that is going to be the Eastern Conference Finals unless like Philly or Cleveland takes Milwaukee's spot and then they're on different sides of the bracket, or I guess on the same side I should say, and that's if Boston or Milwaukee falls to 4, so we'd get 1-4 in the second round, which would be crazy. Spurs, easy one, better luck next year. Dallas, they added Kyrie Irving, one of the better players, the second best player to be acquired at this deadline. I think they're a conference finals contender. They were in the conference finals last year. They're currently 31-27. The West is so wide open. But you might say they're more of a finals contender than Memphis. Oh, I'm going to go back and forth on that one. Denver, finals contender. They've been pretty much at the top of the Western Conference since like December, 39-18. It looks like they have the MVP. They did move Bones Hyland at the deadline. They added Thomas Bryant. Not the worst moves, but I think they might miss Bones Hyland scoring off the bench. But yeah, they're definitely a finals contender. Definitely the top Western Conference team at the moment. Golden State, I'm going to say conference finals contender just because they won it all last year. We'll see how long Steph's out for. They have all the talent. They don't need to be a top seed in the West. I think if they just finish in the top 6, they can still be a conference finals contender. It'll be a little bit tough in the play-in. Currently, they're 9. I have a 9th seed as a play-in or as a conference finals contender. Kind of crazy, but it's the Warriors. I can't doubt them. Houston, definitely a better luck next year. Oh my God, they're the worst team in the NBA. 13 wins. 13 wins. That is crazy. The Bucks are on a 10-game winning streak. Whoa, I didn't even realize that. Next up, we have the Utah Jazz. They're an interesting one, too, because they moved Jared Vanderbilt, Malik Beasley, and Mike Conley at the deadline. We'll see if they keep Russ. They're currently the 11th seed. To be honest with you, I don't think that they get any better. So I think they're going to be a better look next year, honestly. I don't think they make the play-in tournament. I do think they're going to finish fairly close to the 10th seed. So I could put them at borderline just to be nice. Maybe. I'll be nice. Clippers. Honestly, finals contender. There's going to be a couple more Western Conference finals contenders than Eastern Conference because, like I said, the West is wide open. I'm not saying that you're a finals favorite. Just, go to the finals. And hey, maybe Boston and Milwaukee just beat each other up in a 7-game series in the Eastern Conference Finals. And one of these teams wins in 5 in the West. And they're just more healthy and more energized and just more fresh for the finals. So the Clippers, if Kawhi and Paul George stay healthy, they added Bones Highland, they added Mason Plumlee, they added Eric Gordon. You already have Robert Covington, Terrence Mann, Nick Batum, Norman Powell, Ivica Zubac. They're a deep roster. They have a deep team. And I think they're a finals contender, at least to come out of the Western Conference. Would I take them against Boston? Would I take them against Milwaukee? Probably not. But hey, they were also my preseason finals winner. Yeah, I had them over the Bucks in the preseason. Lakers. I don't know, man. There's been this LeBron talk about he's injured. We'll see if AD stays healthy. They definitely got better at the deadline. They just beat Golden State. I think they're going to make the play-in tournament, though. I do think that they are going to pass the Thunder and the Jazz. Spoiling these again, but yeah, I do think that they're going to end up as the 10th seed. How many games back are they right now? A game and a half, or actually, yeah, 2 games of the 10th seed. I do think they do pass OKC, so I guess OKC I think will be a borderline play-in tournament team. Orlando, they could finish close. They've been better as of late. They just got off to a really poor start. I do think they're going to finish around the 13th, maybe 12th seed as the highest. I don't think they pass Toronto or Chicago, so they're a better luck next year team from me. We get the Miami Heat up next. I don't think they're a conference finals contender. They didn't get better at the deadline, so they're going to be a top 6 seed. Yeah, so I basically think this is going to be 4, 5, and 6 finishing in the East. I do think Miami can pass Brooklyn. How many games back are they of Brooklyn right now? A game and a half. Yeah, I do think Miami's going to pass Brooklyn. Minnesota. I think they're playing. Well, that's the Pelicans. I do think that they're a play-in tournament team. Right now, they sit as the 8th seed in the Western Conference. Yeah, I don't think they're going to finish in the top 6, but I do think that they're going to finish in the top half of the play-in tournament. Pelicans, same thing. I think they're going to be in the play-in tournament. I don't think that they're going to finish into the top 6. The Warriors could also be a play-in tournament team, but I do think that they still have the conference finals ability. I can't doubt them. Knicks, play-in bound as well. I do think that they could be the best play-in tournament team, finishing as the 7th seed ahead of Atlanta, ahead of Toronto, but I don't think that they're going to catch Miami or Brooklyn. As of now, behind Miami, they are a game and a half. I just think Miami's still a better team, but the Knicks did get better at the deadline, adding Josh Hart. Indiana, I think it's still a better luck next year. They're going to finish close to the play-in tournament, around the 12 or the 13th seed, but they have been bad as of late, 2-8. They had a really respective start. They were around 20 and 20 at one point, so they've been fairly bad in the new year. I think they're a better luck next year team. I don't think they get any better. They didn't really make any moves at the deadline either. Philly. I do think it's still a 2-headed race in the East between Milwaukee and Boston, but I think they are that last conference finals contender. I think they could pull off an upset over Milwaukee or over Boston. They still have the talent. Harden's playing at an all-star caliber level. Still efficient. One of the best passers in the league. Joel Embiid's playing at an MVP level. Maxi's playing better as of late. They added Jalen McDaniels at the deadline. If the minivan can shoot, we'll see about this team. They still have PJ Tucker, DeAnthony Melton. It's a talented roster, and I think they do have a chance to make the conference finals. They're probably the best team out of these 3 in here. Phoenix, finals contender. Oh my God, I'm really gonna. I'm gonna drop Memphis to a conference finals contender. I can't have 4 Western Conference. That's just a cop out. But I do see a scenario where all 3 of these teams can make the finals. But honestly, I like Denver the least because of the experience. They have made a Western Conference Finals before in the bubble, but KD, Booker, Aiden, Chris Paul George, Kawhi, and their supporting cast, I like it a little bit more than Jokic, Murray, and Porter Jr. Obviously, a lot of this relies on health because Chris Paul could be hurt, KD could be hurt, Kawhi could be hurt, Paul George could be hurt. But yeah, the Suns are probably the Western Conference favorites at the moment if they stay relatively healthy. They're adding Terrence Ross. They had Darius Bazley. They still have Torrey Craig, campaign. We'll see if Jock Landale or whoever's going to be the backup 5 get in those minutes, especially if Aiden gets hurt. But yeah, the Suns, finals contender. I'm going to have 3 Western Conference teams. Detroit, better luck next year. Yep, one of the worst teams in the league. Haven't been too much fun to watch this year, which is a shame because they had a lot of hype coming into the year. Portland, I think they finish as a borderline play-in team. I do, because I think like Golden State could finish in the play-in. And then you'd have Golden State, Pelicans, Minnesota, and the Lakers. They're just going to finish right on the outskirts, probably as the 11th seed in the West. Yeah, I think they'll pass Utah for sure, and I think OKC could drop a little bit. But OKC's been playing well. They've been proving me wrong all year. Sacramento, I don't think that they are better than Memphis in a 7-game series. Denver, Clippers, Suns, Mavericks, and maybe even Golden State. I could be hating on Sacramento, but I love their story. I think they're going to finish as a top 6 seed, but similar to Cleveland, I do think like making the conference finals is going to be tough. I could see them beating a Minnesota or the Pelicans or the Lakers or hey, even the Warriors or the Mavericks in round 1. I just think it's going to be tough for Sacramento to win 2 playoff series. Their defense is not very good. Their offense is great, but in the playoffs, you got to be able to play defense. Not a lot of their players have a lot of experience there. So in the playoffs, at least, like you have your Harrison Barnes and Sabonis that have been in some big playoff games. Barnes more than Sabonis. But yeah, like Fox, Murray, like Mitchell. Monk's been, I don't even know if he's been in any playoff games. Like Herter has. He's been in the Eastern Conference Finals. Monk, LA, nothing. Charlotte, not really. So yeah, their team lacks experience. We'll see how they do. Washington, they're a borderline playing team. I think they'll finish around where Chicago finishes. Probably even worse. They're currently the 9th seed right now. Yeah, so it's basically, who do I like to be knocked out? Oh, no. Washington, Chicago, or Toronto. You know what? I think Washington falls out and Chicago gets in that last spot. If it comes down to it, yeah. So Chicago, I do have in the playing tournament. I realized that at the end of the video. And the Clippers are mentioned here twice. Well, I like this logo a lot more for the Clippers, so we're putting them up there. So yeah, that is my post-trade deadline final NBA team rankings for the remainder of the season. The next type of team ranking video or prediction is going to be my playoff predictions. Probably the playing tournament before that. So that will be in April. I hope you guys did enjoy the video. Drop a thumbs up if you did. Like I said, let me know down below what you agree with, what you disagree with. I'd love to hear your opinion. Hope you guys have a great day, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.